to schedule a free consultation. Be sure to ask about our great offers and really attractive financing options right now. Renewal by Andersen Windows and Entry Doors. Isn't it time?
Looks like winter is losing its grip and we are headed for warmer weather to come. How did your car make it through the winter? Hi, this is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. Winter is hard on your car, especially on the components underneath. The sand and chemicals that make winter driving safer can affect the brakes, chassis, and exhaust parts. While you have your car in for routine maintenance, we'll inspect your car to make sure you are set for spring and summer travels.
Al's D&I Repair on Sturgis Road. Call 348-1447 to set up your appointment.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
Breaking news in the NFL as the Baltimore Ravens have released kicker Justin Tucker. General manager Eric DeCosta released a statement calling the move a football decision. Tucker was an 8-time All-Pro during his 13-year career with the Ravens. He's been accused of sexual misconduct by 16 different massage therapists in the Baltimore area. They allege the inappropriate actions by Tucker took place between 2012 and 2016 at 8 different spas and wellness centers. Justin Tucker let go by the Ravens today after 13 seasons. The NFL Draft in 2027 will be held in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall between the Washington Monument and U.S. Capitol. Announcement made today in the Oval Office by President Trump, flanked by Commissioner Roger Goodell and Commanders owner Josh Harris. ESPN says Michigan is expected to suspend head football coach Sharon Moore for 2 games in connection to the Connor Stallions investigation. Knicks Celtics tonight, followed by Nuggets and Thunder. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show is back. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. Thanks for checking in here. We are live on Fox Sports Radio and also stream us all the time on X. If you're on X, follow the show at Nate Brown Show, and you can watch us live. Welcome in studio there. One more place, our YouTube channel is live as well. The Matt Kearney produced YouTube channel. You know that. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And you got the live show right now every afternoon drive. And the archive shows. Great guests across the board. And some great guests tonight. Let's kick off the week. Let's get after it a little bit here, huh? Welcome in. Let's take a look at the guest lineup. On this Monday, we will talk some hoops with Parker Fox. You know Parker, right? Great player at Northern. And then he transferred to the University of Minnesota. Now he's a Timberwolves analyst. He goes on The Fan and the Twin Cities, howling with the homies. I was finding this stuff out. Parker Fox, I reached out to him and said, hey, let's talk some hoops, and not only about his career, but now he's covering the Wolves, and it's Wolves Warriors coming up. Parker Fox from K-Fan out of the Twin Cities straight ahead. Matt Zimmer's on tonight from SiouxFallsLive.com. Some interesting news when it comes to the Summit League, Missouri Valley, the Jacks, and more. Matt Zimmer's in tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. We'll go out to Indianapolis. Scott Agnes is on. He covers the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. How about that deal yesterday? A sold-out arena in Iowa, and a blowout game against the national team from Brazil, and the Fever just had an unbelievable following there. The Caitlin Clark ticket is off and running. Scott Agnes covered it. He's getting back to Indianapolis tonight. He'll join us live from Indy Fieldhouse Files. Covers the Fever and the Pacers. Scott Agnes in tonight, and we'll talk baseball. It's that time of year. High school baseball season in full swing. The Legion baseball season just getting going for some teams. Kelvin Torvey's the head coach of one of the great programs, Post-22 Baseball. Kelvin Torvey on the undefeated hard hat start for Post-22. How do they look as they get the 2025 campaign going? Busy Monday show across the board. South Dakota Sports Talk Show inviting you on. 605-720-1067 if you want to join the fun tonight. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Locations here at 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Drop by tonight. Also in Brandon and 2 locations in Rapid City. The Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. And let's go to the Barron's Wilson text line. We can take your texts as well. 605-720-1067. Text the show, 605-720-1067. A lot to discuss tonight, a lot of ways to go. We'll talk South Dakota sports coming up. A little Missouri Valley and Summit League news. I'm gonna get to what that I think could mean. Some rumors floating around out there, so we'll get to that. I'm gonna start with an NBA topic here. So I'm watching the Warriors and the Rockets yesterday. Nice Sunday, just settling in. I thought it was going to be a nice game. Pretty good game. Pretty good back and forth. Warriors got control, never relinquished it. So the Warriors win as a 7 seed. Not a surprise. They added Jimmy Butler. You got Steph. You got Draymond. All the experience, right? If you watch NBA basketball, you know, crunch time now in the playoffs. This is when you need the guys that have been there, and those 3 are big time. Absolute big time. So the Warriors knock off the Rockets. I love seeing it. I didn't like some of the goofy players from the Rockets, some of the goofy stuff they were doing. You think Draymond's bad. I get it. The Rockets, they were goofy. So I like seeing the Warriors and Steph Curry win yesterday. Now you set this deal up, though, for you Wolves fans. You got the Wolves-Warriors. That's a great series. The Target Center should be rocking. I mean, this place should be popping. Wolves and Warriors. Really good series coming up. Now, I wanted to stop and think about this a little bit. So if you've listened to the show over the years, I do, about this time of year, starting to get into tourist time, I do the Mount Rushmore list. You got to love it. Our claim to fame, Mount Rushmore best of. And I thought, here's one that I'm watching last night, Steph Curry. And Steph gets an interesting reputation. I think people just write Steph Curry off as he's just a great shooter. That's what he is, a shooter. Three-pointer galore. He's just a better Ray Allen. Just you know, such a marksman, so accurate, can shoot deep and the whole thing. Steph Curry, I think, gets that reputation. I was watching last night. It's not like he lit it up, but had a nice game, pretty good game, 22 points, 40% from 3. That's not great for him. But I watched him hit some deep, clutch shots late yesterday, and the Warriors take down the Rockets on the road, and everybody always says, well, Steph always needs other players, Kevin Durant and these guys around him. They're going to say he needs Jimmy Butler to come in. Well, I get it. But let me just throw this out there. You as basketball fans tonight, where do you see Steph Curry, the guy, the player, as one of those must-watch players of all time? Does Steph Curry land in a all-time must-watch guy? Because I've watched his career. He's 37 years old now. He's hit huge shots. He's an NBA champion, an MVP. Yet I still think Steph doesn't quite, this is my read on it, I don't think he quite gets thrown into, well, he's one of the all-time must-watch NBA players, and I think it's because smaller, shoots threes, not a ton of like highlight reel dunks and enforcing stuff. I get it. But the highlight reel stuff is from the all-time three-point shots and the unbelievable shots and the quick release and the deep shots, the whole thing. the deal is, I also think that plays against him in his, I don't know how you see him, because people say, well, Steph changed the NBA. Steph changed this game of basketball where we don't go back to the basket anymore. We don't pound it inside. We don't do physical. It's all finesse and off of screens and just ball screens and shooting threes, and now the whole game of basketball has changed. I do think the old school guys say Steph's fine, but he's not one of the all-time must-watch guys. He's just a three-point shooter. So I looked at it and I said, if I'm going to do a Mount Rushmore list, this isn't Mount Rushmore best of the best. I'm not talking that. I'm talking must-see players of NBA all-time. Mount Rushmore list, my top 4. And I said, this is a tough exercise to start on a Monday. This is a tough one. I want to know if Steph Curry, for you, is one of the all-time must-see players in NBA history. In NBA history. We're going to get to watch Warriors-Wolves. I think this is going to be outstanding series. It's going to be really, really good. Is Steph Curry who he is, the style of play, over 4,000 three-pointers? So he's got the NBA record all-time three-pointers. So you got that going for you. He's done pretty much everything. The Team USA thing, gold medal. He's done the NBA champion thing. Yet I wonder if Steph Curry is seen by everybody as, well, he's going to go down as one of the all-time must-watch players. When he's on, do you have a tendency to go, oh, I got to watch this. I gotta watch Steph. It's entertainment. This is the entertainment you want. That's what I want to know in our question of the day. 605-720-1067. If you want to be a part of the question of the day on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Steph Curry and the Warriors take care of the Rockets. Now it sets up a great one. Wolves, Warriors. In the next series is Steph Curry, one of the all-time must-see players in NBA history. One of the all-time must-see players in NBA history. Not must-see, not great shooters. I'm talking must-see players in NBA history. My Mount Rushmore, I've got my 4 players. Well, I got 3 players. My 4th is hard to fill out. Thanks for calling. You're live tonight, and you go ahead.
Yeah, I think I can't help but say I think you're totally disrespecting Steph Curry and saying that he's not an all-time watch because he shoots threes. I mean, he is undeniable as a shot creator. He's very underrated in the way that he can get to the rim. And yeah, he is small, but it is because of that speed, the combination of the speed, the size, and the agility. I mean, he does things as a guard that a lot of guards have not done in the history. So yeah, he is the best three-point shooter of all time, but to say, well, he's a three-point shooter, and that's all he is. I mean, he is a very well-rounded player. His three-point shooting stands out for sure.
I appreciate that. Great call. I get it. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. No, I think that's right. You know what the critics say, though? I mean, so I'm watching this, and I'm seeing what people say. You can watch Barkley and all these guys. Well, Steph, a great player, but you've heard it over the years. The critics are, well, he's a three-point shooter. He's not in there with the all-time great players. And I'm saying the question is today, is he one of the all-time must-see players in NBA history? Last caller, I think that's a good point. That's a nice point. All of the things he does as a well-rounded basketball player. If you just think he's a three-point shooter, as I said, like a glorified Ray Allen, he's just better than Ray Allen was at the end. No, he's like in another stratosphere. I've watched a lot of his games. I hope you have as well. He's in another stratosphere. And that's why I put him in here. Is he one of the must-see players in NBA history? That's what I'd like to know. Thanks for getting on. You're live, and you go ahead.
You know, he's like the Scottie Pippen of your Mount Rushmore team.
Okay.
You know, he's a good extra.
A good extra?
A quality extra. but he ain't getting no rebounds. Okay, he ain't in there guarding the best player. So how are you going to put him on? I'll give you my 3, because the 4th, we'll give it to the young kid. Wilt, Larry Bird, MJ, Michael Jordan.
Okay, Wilt, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. And your 4th is who?
You know, whoever these young kids give it to, you know.
Okay.
You know, nobody that really mattered in the last 20 years. And before you say, oh, you're wrong, count the people. Count the numbers. Compare them to the older guys.
I don't mind that Mount Rushmore. That's a pretty good one, man. I've got mine.
I tried to cover generation, you know.
All right. Appreciate you.
I got the 60s, 70s, the 80s, and 80s, 90s.
I like it. Thanks for getting on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day, Nate.
All right, good stuff. I think that's okay. He had Jordan, Wilt, Bird, and then he said whoever the young generation wants to put in. You know who I think they might put in? LeBron James. I hate to tell you, everybody. Okay, let's go to this. 605-720-1067. Is Steph Curry one of the all-time must-watch players in NBA history? Just kind of want to know where we stand on it because I think he gets unfairly criticized. Our last caller said he's not playing D. He's not rebounding. Well, that's not his thing, and it's really not what they rely on. I mean, they're relying on Draymond Green and some of these guys over the years to do those things. And we can't be too unfair saying that that's not his thing. I think his thing is being the ultimate best shooter of all time. Of all time. And it's not just set shot stuff. It is really something. It's something. So is he a must-see player? Here's what I would say. Everybody says that Caitlin Clark, I've said it myself, she is the needle. She doesn't move the needle. She is the needle. We watch Caitlin Clark. Why? Her ability to do what Steph does. So she's the first woman that has played at an unbelievable level, deep shots, ball handling, passing, just crazy offensive skill. Crazy offensive skill. And the threes is what brought Caitlin Clark into our lives. And that's what makes her the ticket. Steph is that player in the NBA. Yet we kind of want to, I don't know if he's that. Is he a LeBron James type must-see player? That's my question. I threw it out there. You tell me, what's the audience saying here? I would vote for Bird, Jordan, Magic, and Wilt. Bird, Jordan, Magic, and Wilt. There's another one from 70s, 80s, 90s. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of must-watch players of all time? I'm not necessarily saying the best. I'm talking must-watch for their entertainment, for their unique skills. And the one that Steph Curry has brought is this unbelievable three-point shooting range. The range, the release, the ability to get open, and then you can't just stop him now at three. He'll drive by you. That's the difference. If people don't watch the game, that's what Steph does. He can do a lot of different things, not just shoot threes. That's my read on it. What's yours? 82% of my audience on Twitter voting tonight that Steph Curry is one of the all-time must-see players in NBA history. It's a heavy Steph Curry vote tonight as the Warriors get set to play the Wolves. 82% say Steph is a must-see player of all time NBA history. 18% say no, he's just a great shooter. Listener response from Chuck. Chuck says he does his thing without being in the spotlight. It's never about him, but about the team. You can't say that about many NBA players. Let's go to my Mount Rushmore of must-see NBA players of all time, okay? This is mine. It's tough because I'm going to throw Steph on here because of what he's done and how he's done it. He has, whether you like it or not, changed the game of basketball. Unbelievable. The greatest shooter by far of all time. By far. So I'll put Steph on the Mount Rushmore of must-see players just for how he does it. Jordan's on the must-see. You know that. I'm a Jordan guy. I will never go down as not a Jordan guy. So Michael Jordan has to be number one. So I carved out for him on Mount Rushmore. Jordan. I'm going LeBron James. I am fair and balanced on the Nate Brown Show. Don't mess with me on this. LeBron James is a must-see NBA player of all time, whether you like him or not. He's in there. Steph Curry is making my list. My fourth is really, really tough because I don't have the Wilt Chamberlain background, like where I was able to watch him all the time. I don't have that background. Some of you guys are like, well, Wilt's the best of the best. He was so dominant, nobody could touch him when he played. Well, that's what people would argue, whether competition wasn't as good back then. Okay, Wilt, how about Kareem? Is Kareem in this? How about Kobe Bryant? I don't think he's in there. He's a Michael Jordan, and I'll take Jordan over Kobe, so I'm going to leave him off. I'm going to leave Wilt off. I haven't seen him over and over like you guys. I'm going to go for his sheer size, power. We haven't seen that style. NBA champion, MVP, a beast. Must see now. I'm not talking best of the best. I'm not arguing this guy against this guy. Must see. Shaquille O'Neal. Beast. Just a beast to watch. So if I wanted must-see players, Jordan, LeBron, Steph, Shaq, my must-see players of all time. Listener text, Jordan, Steph, Magic, Dr. J. I like that. Dr. J. And I know why. He was smooth. Dr. J. One of the all-time great dunkers as that got going. Okay, there's my read. Shaq, he makes the list. Not because I'm telling you he's better than Kareem. I'm just telling you what style he played, how he did it, and the sheer massive physicality. I was never a big Shaq guy back in the day, but I knew he was a factor. I knew he was a major, major factor. All right. There's my list. Jordan, LeBron, Steph, Shaq. Matt Zimmer's in next. We get started on a Monday. So news out of the Missouri Valley Conference and the Summit League. It's official today. What does the merger mean? Matt Zimmer, Sioux Falls Live next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Rapid City Sports Commission are partnering and hosting a Sports Fields Live Forum on Wednesday, May 14th at the Hive, downtown Rapid City at 4:30 p.m. If you've thought about putting in a sports field and want to learn everything from installation to the best product for your field, this meeting's for you. RSVP to Christy at 605-831-9026. Learn all the ins and outs on sports fields from Forever Lawn Black Hills and the Rapid City Sports Commission. RSVP before May 14th to Christy at 831-9026.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Storms likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 47. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain showers tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to overcast skies tomorrow night. Slight chance of rain showers 47. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 62.
This Mother's Day, treat Mom to a brunch she'll never forget at the Box Elder Event Center. Sunday, May 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy favorites like prime rib, grilled salmon, French toast, a kids station, and endless desserts. Capture memories with our photo backdrop, stunning balloon arches, and sweet fluff organic cotton candy. And hero moms, active military, first responders, and teachers get in free. Reservations are required. Visit thebox.live before it's sold out.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
All right, getting started on a Monday. Welcome in tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch us live. We're streaming there right now on X, Twitter. What's it called? We call it Twitter. We call it X. It's all good. At Nate Brown Show. If you're on the app, you can watch the show live. Parker Fox coming up live tonight from the Twin Cities. Former Northern player, went to Minnesota. Now covers the Wolves for the Fan. Parker Fox coming up. We'll talk hoops. Matt Zimmer's in tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com for the coverage. Does a great job on the Jacks, USD, and more. SiouxFallsLive.com. Matt, how are you, man?
I'm good, Nate. How are you?
Doing good. Appreciate the time. I got a question of the day for you. You give me your read on this. Steph Curry's getting set to take on the Wolves. Is Steph Curry one of the all-time must-see players in NBA history?
Yeah, I think I'd put him on that list. You know, I don't know if he'd be on my top 10 best players of all time or greatest players of all time, although he might be. But I just think how unique he is as a shooter. You know, he changed the game, you know, the way he revolutionized the three-point shot. I mean, not that, you know, the game was moving towards being a three-point game a little before that, but, you know, I don't think there was ever a guy like him who was just a threat to shoot from literally almost anywhere on the court. You know, I mean, he'll just spot up from half court basically, and, you know, in his prime, you know, you couldn't stop him. I mean, he could hit three-pointers from, you know, 50 feet in anywhere, and he was always a threat to take it, and, you know, he rewrote the record book on three-point shots, and I'm still pretty annoyed that the Timberwolves didn't take him when they had a chance. They were they're like Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio, better than him. So, yeah, it's I mean, kind of obviously a segue into that series, Wolves against Warriors. That's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be great. I mean, that's going to be a great series. It's going to be a lot of fun for people in the Twin Cities to watch that thing. Okay, let's go to the college route. So it's official. Summit League and Missouri Valley partnership is on the books. And there's, you know, people are in charge of this, people are in charge of that. I'm more interested in, does this lead to the conferences expanding here? Do you think there's any validity to, well, the Summit wants to have some football schools here. Maybe they'll go get Tarleton State. Maybe they'll go get Southern Utah. Does this lead to something more now that the Missouri Valley Summit League are officially together?
Well, it's got to lead to something, or else why would they be doing it? I mean, I keep trying to sort of read between the lines of what is in these announcements and that what we've heard in interviews, and there's not a lot of meat there, So I'm looking at it thinking, well, what does this mean? Are we talking about a potential merger? Are we talking about expansion? I kind of thought maybe it was just going to be about bringing both the Missouri Valley Football Conference and the Summit League under Josh Fenton's commissionership, but then it turned out, no, they're going to have the Valley's, the full Valley, the Big Valley. Their commissioner is going to be the commissioner of the Valley Football League. Josh Fenton will be part of that administration. I don't know. I think maybe, and this is largely speculation, that it just sort of opens the doors to future collaboration. But yes, it is going to lead to something, but what that something is, I don't know. I've heard all those same rumors you have that you alluded to about, some schools in Texas, some schools out west. I kind of think the Summit League's in pretty good shape where it is. It's got a real good geographical footprint. There's a lot of bus trips in that league, and that's what you want when you're a mid-major league. But that doesn't mean that the minute you sit back and think everything's good and we don't have to do anything, that's when 3 schools leave, and all of a sudden you're scrambling to maintain your AQ status. So I'm kind of in the same boat as everyone else, just kind of waiting to see what comes next now that this has officially been announced.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I'm going, okay, Summit League, Missouri Valley partnership, but what's the result here moving forward? Yeah, they already have a partnership, essentially. They've been working together so well. Okay, I want to go to the USD side, and then I'll get to SDSU. So USD, I haven't talked to you since. They lost a lot of starters, offensive line, some skill guys. They got the quarterback, Bauman. That's big. But how big is the losses for USD in the spring here?
They're big because it's their entire offensive line, basically, and I think anyone would tell you offensive line more than any other position group is the one that kind of takes the longest to gel. You need cohesion. You need those 5 guys kind of working as a chain, as a unit, and that's going to be tough because they had, devoted a lot of time and energy and resources into doing that, and that was a big reason that they have been so good the last couple of years. Having said that, whether it's USD or SDSU, they lost a ton of guys when Jimmy Rogers left. NDSU has seen some of their best players jump in the portal. Everyone's panicking. Everyone's saying, well, how are we going to replace this guy? How are we going to replace this guy? And we're starting all over, and, we don't have any experience. And all of that is true, largely. But one, we've seen all 3 of those teams reload, bringing in a ton of talent. We always talk about you lose guys in the portal, but you can bring them in. And USD's done a tremendous job of turning around right when it looked like their roster had been completely gutted to adding a bunch of FBS Power 4 caliber guys that are probably going to be able to be impact players for them. So just when you think the sky is falling, hey, maybe it's not so bad.
I want to go to the SDS. Okay, go on.
Say the SDSU's in that same situation, and I think what now that there's been a little bit of time, I guess, to let all this sink in, you kind of look at it and go, well, everyone's going to be in the same boat. USD, SDSU, and NDSU are kind of, and Montana State's in there, and some other schools. They're the cream of the crop. They're the heavyweights of the FCS. They lose all this talent, and you kind of wonder, well, are they going to be able to compete? Well, they're all the same thing happened to all 3 of them. They all lost a bunch of great players, and then they went out and replaced a bunch of them with high-end FBS talent. So I think the question is going to be just not so much who has the talent. I think they all have talent. The question is going to be who can get all these new guys on the same page the fastest and develop some chemistry and cohesion. That's going to be the team that's going to play for a national championship.
Matt Zimmer in tonight from SiouxFallsLive.com. Follow his work there at Sioux Falls Live and on Twitter at Matt J. Zimmer. Speaking of bringing new players in, I saw this running back from Fordham. Had big years there. Transfers to SDSU. What do we think?
That's a huge get for them. Just because that's probably their thinnest position group. They went out and got Nate White, a transfer from Wisconsin, who's I think got at least 3 years of eligibility left. He's going to be their feature back, and he's been everything they hoped when they brought him in. He came in for the spring, was really impressive, good teammate, fast, strong, runs hard. I mean, just everything they hoped he would be, but he's really the only guy they got outside of some freshmen. And then, so even if he is, like I said, even if he's a 1,500-yard dude, he's the only one, and he doesn't have a lot of experience. He basically just redshirted at Wisconsin. They needed a guy who had played, a guy who's carried the ball in college football. This guy's a perfect addition. 3,000-yard seasons already at the FCS level. He's going to come in right away, and I don't know if that means it's going to be a platoon thing with him and Nate White, if they're battling for the starting job, if this guy's just going to be sort of the change of pace. I don't know. But all of a sudden, that room gets a lot deeper now because you've got two established feature backs at the top, and then you can slide in a Brendan Begeman, maybe a Quinn Renfro, some of the guys that were already there that create some depth. That was a big, big get for them.
Jax today at a running back transfer from Fordham has been a starter for them. Okay, what's the early read on Dan Jackson? You've been covering it now, spring football, we go through that. What's the early read on how different is Dan Jackson than the last couple of guys, Jimmy Rogers and Coach Stig?
Yeah, he's definitely different than both of them. He's much more outgoing, certainly, than Jimmy Rogers. Jimmy was famously very intense and kind of a hunker down, watch film, didn't necessarily enjoy or want to get out amongst the masses or talk to the media and everything. And to be fair, he did a good job with that. I like Jimmy. I got along with him great. But it was just a different kind of guy, a different relationship. And we all remember John Stiegelmeier for being, the kindly sort of patriarchal friend of everyone kind of guy. Dan's maybe, I don't want to say a mixture of the two, but he's got a lot of Stig in him because, Stig was one of his mentors. He's a very outgoing guy to the degree that, when I first got to know him, I kind of thought, like, is this guy legit? Is this real, or is this sort of a put on? And being around him long enough, you get to realize, no, like, he's just got this much energy. He's this, enthusiastic about South Dakota State football, and he didn't have to come back and take this job. He was an FBS coordinator. He was well on his way to moving up the ladder. He came back here in a situation where they really needed him, obviously because of what was happening with Jimmy taking guys to Washington State and not knowing what the future of the program was. And in just the space of a few months, Dan has, I think, really calmed the waters of this program, rebuilt the roster, put together a good coaching staff, established recruiting ties, I think reinvigorated the fan base. They had the biggest crowd at a spring game I've ever seen at their spring game a month ago. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing anything. They might not have a great year this year, although I think they are going to. But I just think the most important thing is he came in and got this program back on solid footing after there were a couple of weeks of it looking a little shaky. I mean, to say he's been a home run, I don't think really covers it. He's been a grand slam. I mean, he's just everything they hoped for and probably a little bit more.
How about Adam Bach? He gets picked up with a rookie minicamp invite. Were you surprised he didn't get an undrafted free agent deal? Is he gonna be able to? I don't know. Is he big enough? Can he find a role in the NFL?
I mean, I didn't expect him to get drafted. I did think someone was going to offer him a free agent deal, and then when that didn't happen, it took a couple days for him to get a minicamp invite. I'm kind of sitting there going, "What am I missing?" The guy was a 5-year starter. He was every bit as productive as Christian Roseboom, who is now a starter for the Carolina Panthers, was, I think, in the top 20 in the NFL in tackles last year. When you just think about all the tools that Adam Bach brings, he's fast, he's strong. He's not big, but he's not super undersized. And he's just such a smart dude. He's kind of a coach's kind of player. And, when teams are bringing guys in, undrafted rookies, and they're looking for practice squad guys, they're looking for special teams contributors, that's right up Adam Bach's alley. He can step in there, help a team on special teams, be a dude on the practice squad, and work his way up. That's what Roseboom had to do. He didn't get drafted either. He went from practice squad to now he's a starter. Hopefully the same thing can work out for Adam.
Matt Zimmer on tonight from SiouxFallsLive.com. You think Tommy Malotte's going to be a slot receiver in the NFL?
I don't know. It's kind of funny to see him and Cam together. If they have to rock, paper, scissors over who gets to play quarterback, or if that's how they decided to do it. But, I mean, they're both real athletic. I mean, we saw how explosive Tommy was up close and personal with SDSU a couple times. I wouldn't put it past him.
SiouxFallsLive.com. It's Matt Zimmer getting us going. Matt, thanks a lot, man.
You bet, Nate. See ya.
Appreciate it. Matt Zimmer on tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. Covers the Jacks and the FCS and USD. Find him on Twitter at Matt J. Zimmer. Matt Zimmer getting us going on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Good recap of SDSU, USD, where things sit. and the Missouri Valley and Summit League. The partnership, it's official, and people are wondering what else does this mean here? Are they going to expand to more schools, more football playing schools now that you got the Summit League in here a little bit? Some people have thrown out Abilene Christian, Tarleton State, University of Texas Arlington, some Texas schools. People have thrown the Utah route around, Southern Utah, Utah Tech, Utah Valley. So it'll be interesting. Missouri Valley consists of 10 football members now. What could this mean? We'll see. Summit League and Missouri Valley official partnership on the books today. Let's talk hoops with one of the great players. He was at Northern. You all remember him. Parker Fox transferred to Minnesota. Now covers the Timberwolves for the Fan in the Twin Cities. Parker Fox talking hoops next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Atlas Shingles provide the best value in residential roofing. They feature a limited lifetime warranty and wind warranty up to 130 miles per hour. Their super wide design saves on installation time and labor. Choose from 20 options in stock and ready to take home today. Visit us in store or on Menards.com and shop our great selection of quality roofing products.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in across the state. Glad you're here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, from high school to college to the pros, trying to get you covered each day out. We don't record guests and play them back or repeat segments over and over. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. You can catch every show, every guest that you want to hear. Just search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got every show. You can listen to all the guests that you want to hear. Just had Matt Zimmer on Sioux Falls Live talking college hoops. Let's go NBA. I want to get this guy's read. This is one of the great players, right, at Northern and played at Minnesota. Now he's talking Wolves on K-Fan in the Twin Cities. I mean, this is good stuff. He does the show covering the Wolves, howling with the homies. Now, where did they get this? Parker Fox is on tonight. He's here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Parker, good to have you for the first time. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, like you said, we it's a fun time of year. It's the NBA playoffs. For me being an NBA guy, this is the pinnacle. This is the most fun time of year for me.
Okay, I want to ask you about this next series. I think it's going to be really, really good. Warriors Wolves. I'm going to get your read on that. I want to go to the Warriors side first. Just get your take. My question of the day is this: is Steph Curry one of the all-time must-see players in history? Must-see. Maybe you don't have to say best of the best. Must-see. Would he be on your list?
Oh, yeah. He was certainly on my list. I fortunately have gotten to see him play a couple times in person now. But if you haven't, he is the pinnacle of watching NBA basketball from the college time at Davidson and then into the pros. From the minute he kind of stepped in the league, he became a guy that you just wanted to pay the price to go see. Not only is the shooting, the shooting speaks for itself. He's the greatest of all time shooting the basketball. There's no debating that anymore. But for me, as a basketball purist, the way Steph Curry moves without the basketball, it's next level. The Warriors are obviously a very system-based team. You have players like Draymond and Kevon Looney who might not, exceed other places as well as they do within the Warriors offense, but the way that they get Steph Curry involved off the ball, running off of pin downs, setting screens, a lot of ghost actions. Yeah, he's about as fun as it gets. And in this playoffs now, if you get to go see him in a playoff game, the way he can get hot and he can shoot a team back into a game, it's unlike anybody else within the whole association.
Okay, so you're new era guy. You bring me, you make me younger. Okay, Parker. I'm not the old man yet, but I'm in the middle. People complain, well, Steph, he changed the game. Some people say for the better. Some people say, well, now for the worse. What's the real answer?
Yeah, I kind of find myself as a middle guy as well a little bit there. I'm a guy that didn't really grow up on Steph too much. But nowadays when I go and coach camps or, I work kids out on the court, you see kids kind of they get out there and they just start chucking up the three and they start compromising their form a little bit to shoot the three like Steph Curry. And don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's really fun to hit the three. But when you're at an age where you maybe don't have the strength to shoot the three with your form, that's where I think it gets a little interesting. And, it's tough because at the end of the day, this game's supposed to be fun and you want kids to go out there and just have a fun time playing basketball. It's, in my opinion, the best sport in the world. But at the same time, these kids they just want to just chuck up that three, man. They want to be like Steph, which is great. But at the same time, there's a whole lot of facets to the game outside of shooting the deep ball. But Steph Curry he's certainly changed the identity of a lot of kids when they walk in the gym.
Parker Fox joining us on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline from the Twin Cities. They cover the Wolves, howling with the homies. Great pregame shows. They cover the Wolves on the Fan. He was on Paul Allen's show today. So I want to get your read on the series now. Do you think the Anthony Edwards-Jimmy Butler matchup is does Anthony get the better of that? How do you see that?
Yeah, as a Timberwolves fan, you hope that happens, and that's something that, you hope for a long time, but I think now Ant has really arisen. He's here now. I think there was times in the past where you're like, oh, I hope Ant plays well. Well, Ant's playing well just about every game he plays in nowadays. His offensive leadership is something that I've seen as the biggest step in his game. You know, Anthony Edwards we're talking about here, his ability to kind of navigate different schemes that the Warriors are going to throw at him. You know, he makes effective decisions underneath pressure. You're going to see a lot of help in the gap from the Warriors defense. I think that's something that it's a one-on-one battle between Anthony Edwards and Jimmy Butler in some sort of way and fashion, but it's a team game, and at the end of the day, Anthony Edwards is not just a scorer. You know, he's a guy that gets others involved, and I think that's the biggest kind of leap that he's taken in his game. You know, he's obviously one-on-one, you know, defensive-wise, nobody in the league can stay in front of him. He can get past the primary defender at will, but now when you get past the primary defender, what's next? Can I, you know, find a Jaden McDaniels in the corner for three, or can I lob it up to Rudy at the rim, or hey, can I go inside and can I finish and make it an and one play, you know, a three-point play the old-fashioned way? So, yes, we're going to see a lot of these individual battles, you know, throughout this series, but for one thing I look at is Anthony Edwards' just offensive leadership and how he's able to get others involved.
Let me get your take on how big the experience is the Warriors have. I think it's big. Playoff experience, Draymond, Jimmy, Steph. How big is that compared to the Wolves in the series? Does the experience matter a lot?
Oh, it certainly does. You know, this Warriors team has created a culture that a lot of teams in the NBA can't, you know, you can't just create it. It has to be something over time that's just kind of woven into the kind of the, I don't know how to explain it even, but it's just like, it's just over time, and it's doing it over and over and over again. And Steph Curry and Draymond Green and, you know, head coach Steve Kerr and guys like Kevon Looney, they've done it, and they know how it looks like. And I think that's why you saw them prevail in that Houston Rockets series. You know, in my opinion, the Houston Rockets were a deeper, more athletic team, but the Warriors ended up winning that series just with their playoff experience. So it's something that's going to be huge. Now, you know, they're coming off of a quick turnaround here. The Warriors just played Houston, and now they're going to play you know, Minnesota in a game one at Minnesota. So I think you kind of you battle with the rest versus fatigue thing now. The Timberwolves obviously beat the Lakers in 5 games, affording them more rest. You know, the Warriors got to come into Minneapolis and be ready to play right away. So, like I talked about today, actually, you know, on Paul Allen's show, I think the first quarter of Game 1 is going to be so important for the Timberwolves. You know, you had a couple days to rest here. How can you use that to jump on the Warriors early? A team that, if you let them stick around, like you mentioned, they have been in the playoffs for a lot of times, for a long time. They know how to win tight ones, so you got to jump on them early.
What's your overall take on the series? Wolves in what?
Man, I got Wolves in 5. I think it's going to be a quick one in my opinion. I think they're going to get 2 here at home. They're going to steal 1 at Chase Center, and they're going to come back to Target Center in Game 5 and wrap it all up. You know, it's going to be at the end of the day, it's going to be a good series. It might be a little ambitious for me to say 5, but I'm just really confident in the way the Timberwolves are playing right now. And the biggest thing for me is the defensive prowess. You know, with Rudy Gobert inside, Jaden McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, Dante DiVincenzo, some of these outside defenders against Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. It's going to be a good series, but I think the Wolves just have too much depth, and they run the Warriors out of the gym.
Parker Fox on tonight from The Fan. His show covering the Wolves is Howlin' with the Homies. Find him on Twitter. You can follow him there at ParkerFox24 if you're not. One South Dakota sports question, Parker. You played at Northern, transferred to Minnesota, had a great college career. What was your takeaway from being a Northern player?
Oh, man. You know, just the most special 4 years of my life. You know, met lifelong friends there. I learned a lot about the South Dakota basketball scene, and it's a really good scene, you know, from the college level to the high school level. There's a lot of good players in the state, and I was fortunate enough to be teammates with some of them. And, you know, the small-town guys like Bo Freeze and Gabe King and Darren Paterka and some of these guys that are from these towns that I never heard of and can come to Northern, you know, in Aberdeen and have a successful career. So, you know, I was very lucky to have some really talented teammates teammates, but more important than that, some really awesome dudes that are going to be in my wedding one day, and I'm very fortunate for my time there, and I miss it, man, every day. You know, everybody asks me, what was Northern like? What was Aberdeen, South Dakota like? And I was like, man, you would love it. We were the biggest show in town, being the basketball team, and the town came out every night and supported us, and I wouldn't have changed those 4 years for anything.
Okay, why'd you want to get into this media stuff? You kind of just started getting after this stuff and doing some basketball analyst stuff. Why'd you want to get into this?
Yeah, I think I just have a passion for the game. I have a passion for sports. It's something, I watch all the sports. So obviously I want to get into the broadcasting side of college and professional basketball, but I love it all. I love talking Twins, Vikings, Timberwolves, Wild, Lynx. I'll talk it all, man. So I think for me, my body started to kind of fail me towards the end of my career, and I ended up having just my third knee surgery last week. So, at some point the ball stops bouncing and you got to figure out what's next for you. And for me, I've always kind of been a person that was able to kind of portray what I saw and what I thought and do it in an interesting way. And the K-Fan and some of these other opportunities have granted me that. So I'm very blessed to be the position that I am in, and I'm really enjoying kind of this media and the different people that I'm meeting. And I'm lucky to be in Minneapolis and be in a hotbed here, and it's something that intrigues me. And I love the Timberwolves, so it's easy for me to talk about them all day long.
Good to have you. We'll try and do this again if we can. Parker Fox on tonight, covers the Wolves and more. K-Fan, he's on Twitter at ParkerFox24. Howling with the homies on K-Fan. Parker, enjoy the series. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Call anytime now.
Appreciate it. Parker Fox on the Nate Brown Show across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with the former Northern player, great player for Northern, and transferred up to Minnesota there his final year, covering the Timberwolves. Howling with the homies on K-Fan. Parker Fox on the Nate Brown Show tonight on Fox Sports Radio. Good stuff. We come right back with an update on the question of the day. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of must-see players of all time? NBA. That's my question of the day. We got some good submissions here. I'd like some more. 605-720-1067. If you're listening to the program, you can text us on the Barron's Wilson text line. So I want your Mount Rushmore of NBA all-time must-see players. So I've asked guys now. Both guests told me Steph Curry is on the must-see player list of all time, and he's on mine. My Mount Rushmore of all time must-see players: Jordan, LeBron, Steph, and I went Shaq. This isn't the best, top 4 list of players. This is must-see players of all time, and why? Steph the 3, Shaq the domination, rim rocking, the whole thing. Jordan, LeBron. Self-explanatory, I hope. I'm a Jordan guy. I put LeBron after Jordan, okay? I'd build LeBron after Jordan on Mount Rushmore. You tell me, 605-720-1067, your Mount Rushmore of all-time must-see NBA players. Next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people, from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Fox Sports Rapid City Forecast. Storms likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 47. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain showers tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 62. Cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies tomorrow night. Slight chance of rain showers 47. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 62.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, you found us. Thanks for being here on a Monday. Hope you've had a good day. We're getting set for the second hour of South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show, live on Fox Sports Radio. What's on tap tonight? Scott Agnes joining us live from Indianapolis, covers the Fever and the Pacers Fieldhouse Files. Scott Agnes covered Caitlin Clark in this Fever game in Iowa yesterday. A sellout crowd, just a massive crowd yesterday as the Fever beat the national team from Brazil by 64. Scott Agnes coming up, covers the Fever, Caitlin Clark, and the Pacers on a run in the Eastern Conference. Fieldhouse Files. That's what's on tap on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the new Campfire Bar at Mr. Liquor 2. Stop in, check out all the live sports at the Campfire Bar. 20 local brews on tap. It's the new Campfire Bar, Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Watch your favorite game at the Campfire Bar. Let's get into our Mount Rushmore list. If you've submitted your list, the Mount Rushmore list, we've started this on the Nate Brown Show years ago. We come up with new lists. We got to be original. We can't be messing around and, redoing lists and things like that. We've done all-time great South Dakota athletes. We've done all-time great South Dakota basketball players. We've done a lot of lists. Tonight, I want your must-see players in NBA history. That's not necessarily your top 4 players. Your must-see players. You could not miss this guy. And I brought that up because Steph Curry wins yesterday over the Rockets and playing against the Wolves coming up. I just love this series on the way, Wolves-Warriors. And Steph Curry, to me, I think a lot of people, you wouldn't put him on your Mount Rushmore of players, but you put him on your Mount Rushmore of must-see players, correct? For the deep threes, the quick release, the basketball skill set, the moving away from all of the basketball stuff. Steph has changed the game. Parker Fox just joined us, former Northern player and Minnesota Gopher. Parker said Steph is on his must-see Mount Rushmore of NBA history. Mine, if you missed it, Jordan, LeBron, Steph, and I went with Shaq. It was a tough one for me to fill out the fourth. Shaq for just for what he did in the NBA. and the style of player that he was. But I love like Hakeem Olajuwon. His skill set was off the charts. Taking your 605-720-1067 if you want to contribute to the question of the day on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Your must-see NBA player list of all time. Must-see. Here's some that came in on the text line, 605-720-1067. Jordan, LeBron James, Steph, and Magic. Jordan, LeBron James, Steph, and Magic. That's an interesting one. Another one started with Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, and Bird. Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, and Bird. I mean, it's hard to argue. We had some Wilt Chamberlains in the mix. We had some Wilts in the mix. We had a Dr. J in the mix. Anybody else? I haven't had any Kobe's yet. He was on my honorable mention. Kobe was my honorable mention. I thought he was a Michael Jordan style, but Michael Jordan was the original. LeBron wasn't a Michael Jordan style. LeBron, 6'9", just an unbelievable ball handler, just a dominant force. I mean, just an absolute beast. LeBron, that wasn't Kobe. Kobe's like Jordan, but not quite like Jordan. 605-720-1067. My question of the day tonight, would you put Steph Curry on your must-see NBA player list of all time? That's the argument with Steph. Great shooter. Does that make your must-see list of all time in NBA history? Yes, amazing player you got to watch. Or no, just a three-point shooter. 82% of you say, yes, amazing player you have to watch. Steph Curry winning the audience of the Nate Brown Show tonight. It's a heavy 82% amazing player you have to watch. 18%, no, just a three-point shooter. A couple more lists. Mount Rushmore, NBA must-see players of all time. Must-see players. Jordan, Magic, Dr. J, Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete. First reference for Pete. I know. I was thinking some of those might come in. Let's see. Jordan says... No, this is actually a guy named Jordan. Okay, so hang on. Jordan says, Jordan, Steph, Shaq, Bill Russell. Bill Russell making his list. Interesting that you put Steph, Shaq in there. No LeBron James? Where are these guys? Hey, a lot of people on the text line have left LeBron off. They've left LeBron off. We got a listener text here. Where's Carmelo Anthony? Oh, anyway. Thanks for playing. But no LeBron's on the list. LeBron's got to be on the list. Whether we like LeBron or not, he's got to be on the list of must-see players of all time. You guys don't like 6'9" guys that can just run through the lane like a freight train and finish? I mean, the guy's a freak. And we can't put LeBron on the list? You have to. Okay. There's an interesting story that came out from the Arena Football League. And everybody's like, okay, I'm going to turn the show now. Hey, hang on a second. Just chill. This is an interesting story about the Arena Football League. And I have another question of the day. Will South Dakota be home for any more indoor football teams? My thoughts next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of Artisan Hearth buns and rolls on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled burgers and hot dogs deserve the best, and with several varieties to choose from, including Wisconsin brat buns, gourmet brioche, French, and onion rolls, the bakers of Artisan Hearth have the buns and rolls your family will love. Artisan Hearth, locally baked, delivered fresh daily.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Eating in Deadwood has so many options thanks to Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Wake up with the trusted taste of Starbucks or sit down to a full breakfast at Best Brews. Looking for lunch? Build a wonderfully fresh sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Grab some quick and cheesy goodness from Pizza Hut or pull up a chair in Patty O'Neill's Irish Pub. Need something a little more intimate for dinner? Well, Snitches is all the buzz with an evolving menu of chef-designed culinary creations. There's something for everyone to eat at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hey sports fans, it's Rob from the Firehouse Skybox. We are Rapid City's premier sports bar with everything you want for the best game watching experience. Bring your crew and take in the action while enjoying our Firehouse craft beers, specialty cocktails, and a great menu of Firehouse burgers, nachos, and more. We have every game, every night on our 35 big screens, and there's not a bad seat in the house. Come and watch your favorite team at the #1 place for sports, the Skybox, right above the Firehouse, Main Street, downtown Rapid City.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. Well, time to see how your car will weather the winter.
That it is. Let's make sure your vehicle is ready to handle the warm months ahead.
Being a AAA and ASE certified shop, I know you guys are well equipped to do just that.
Justin and our techs have all the experience you need in diagnosing and repairing whatever may be ailing your vehicle.
And if finances are tight for customers, you can help there?
Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, which has really been a huge help for people who are in dire need of repairs. Call us with any questions on this program, or you can get an answer in minutes right from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button.
What a great option for those who have repairs that just can't wait.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic opportunity for many people.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, everybody. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytimeanytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in. Second hour of the show getting going. Monday edition of the Nate Brown Show at South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. Hope you've had a good weekend, a solid start to the week. Solid on a Monday. Scott Agnes is coming up. He covers the Fever, Caitlin Clark, and the Pacers. Double hitter for Scott Agnes. He's busy right now. Fever had that preseason game yesterday. Caitlin Clark went back to Iowa. It was sold out, just a massive crowd, as you would expect for Caitlin Clark's homecoming at Iowa, and they played the national team from Brazil and just blasted them. Caitlin Clark hit an NBA three way outside of where she hit the record-setting three when she was at Iowa. Scott Agnes coming up, Fieldhouse Files. He's live from Indianapolis. We'll talk hoops and the upcoming Caitlin Clark season and the Pacers. Can they get it done in the East? They win yesterday, game one of the Cavaliers. Asking for your Mount Rushmore list tonight, one of our first of the summer. Is it summer yet? Not quite. Tourist season. Getting close. We're going to start our Mount Rushmore list on the Nate Brown Show and come up with new ones as we go through the summer months. Tonight, the must-see NBA players of all time. Not the best, but just the must-see. The guys that you have to watch. You had to watch in the NBA all time, because I think Steph Curry should be on your list. Steph gets a bad rap. Oh, he's a three-point shooter. Oh, it's ruined the game. Oh, the deep. Steph Curry's an unbelievable transformational player. So I put him on my must-see Mount Rushmore list of NBA players of all time. Some listener texts coming in. Clyde Drexler, Karl Malone, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman. Yeah, Dennis Rodman. Must see. For many reasons. Listener text, LeBron travels. I love it. Okay, you tell me. 605-720-1067. The Barron's Wilson text line. If you haven't answered our question of the day, answer that one for us. Mount Rushmore of must-see players in NBA history. Okay? Let's go to this story. Couple of things here. Do you remember the good old days when the Sioux Falls Storm played the Billings Outlaws in indoor football numerous years for the national title? It was the Indoor Football League. It was the heyday. I remember this. I managed a station in Billings back in the day and covered a couple of these. And so the Billings Outlaws had a great following. The Sioux Falls Storm, we know. Great winning tradition, Curtis Riggs, the whole story. The Storm, the real deal in this country in indoor football. And I bring this up because these two organizations now from these different markets here in the upper Midwest, Sioux Falls Storm is dormant. The Storm is dormant, a traditional organization that's had so much winning and success, had a great following. I know it's tailed off over the years. The Billings Outlaws, great tradition, great following, great market in Billings, Montana. Their owner posted a tweet as they're still trying to play indoor football. It's called the Arena Football One League. I couldn't. You got to remember the one. What's the one stand for? Arena Football One League. The Billings Outlaws are still trying to do this thing. They actually had success last year, and now they're back, and now they're struggling. They're 2-4, and I bring this up because I just wonder, where's the future of these indoor football organizations? Where is the future of these indoor football teams? Here's the message from the Billings Outlaws owner. He said, thoughts after becoming 2-4. The bottom line and lack of Billings and Montana support is affecting the outcome of our product. Not sure of the Outlaws' future in Billings. May move the team. Okay, and I won't read any more of that, but that's the owner of the Billings Outlaws saying, hey, not enough support from Billings in Montana. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of statewide support there from Montana, but he's saying that's affecting the product. I might have to move the team. My point of this, there is these arena football leagues, and I'm telling you, I make a joke about it. I can't remember the official name of these leagues half the time. They've changed so much. Indoor Football League, the Arena Football League, the first time. The second time, the third time, now what are we on? The Arena Football One League. Is it the same? It's just wild to me. And so the Sioux Falls Storm have gone away for now. And I'm not so sure that you can say, well, they're going to be coming back. Maybe they'll do the Arena Football One League with the Nashville Cats and the Billings Outlaws when they move to Puckwana. What's the future of these indoor football leagues? My guess is, this is my guess, I don't think it's great. I've always looked at a few things here when it comes to indoor football and the markets they're in. What type of ownership dollars do you have? You got to have huge dollars. And maybe some of these owners do. Maybe they do. But you got to have huge dollars because it's not a huge money-making proposition. I always find it curious. Why do some of the folks get into these indoor football teams and start them in certain markets and things like, is it to make a bunch of money? Because that's not happening. And I sure wouldn't think that you would think it is. So you better have some ownerships that are like, hey, we're doing this for fun, just kind of for kicks. I think it's hard to find that in minor league sports. And then the other aspect is you need consistency because you're in a community. Some of these markets are still small towns. I hate to tell you, Billings is still a small town. Sioux Falls, rather a small market, meaning people know people. And if you're not consistent and you can't get into the community and be a part of the fabric of the community and be long-lasting and get it, Billings had it. Sioux Falls had it. Why has it dwindled? I don't know the exact answer, but it's hard to make these things work because they're usually really tough to make money. Really, really tough to make money. I just know that for a fact. So here's a headline. John Gruden is going to join the Nashville Cats. They're in this Arena Football 1 League with the Billings Outlaws. And Gruden is going to, what's he going to do? He's going to join as a part owner with Jeff Fisher down there. Jeff Fisher's the head of he's the head of the Nashville Cats and the league commissioner. So I'm like, what? And now John Gruden's getting in the mix? What are you doing, John? John doesn't have enough to do? Maybe you should get a little distracted like Bill Belichick or something. But anyway, whoops. Have a good day. But anyway, John Gruden, he doesn't have enough to do. He's going to join the Arena Football 1 League? I don't get it. Let me ask you this question of the day. This is a tough one. Will there ever be another indoor football team in South Dakota? My question of the day here on the Nate Brown Show. I'm just curious. Rapid City's had their run. Sioux Falls has had the Storm a long time. Dormant now. They should be playing right now. They're not. And so I think it's tough to bring back. Will there ever be another indoor football organization, do you believe, in South Dakota? Not counting the Puckwana Outlaws when they move there. But do you think that? Will there ever be another indoor football team in South Dakota? What do you say? 605-720-1067. Interested in what you say. My thought is I think it's played itself out in Rapid City. I think Sioux Falls has an uphill climb after taking the team out for a year. Very, very tough uphill climb. And it's minor league sports. Need the right owners, need a bunch of money, need to be willing to not pinch pennies. That's a tough sell. Scott Agnes joining us live on the Nate Brown Show next, talking Caitlin Clark and the Pacers. He's live from Indianapolis.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Dutch Boys DuraFighter is a premium interior paint and primer in one with a tough, lasting formula. It provides great scrub resistance and durability with remarkable hide and a smooth finish. Save big on Dutch Boys DuraFighter paint at Menards and start your next project today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Forever Lawn Black Hills and the Rapid City Sports Commission are partnering and hosting a Sports Fields Live Forum on Wednesday, May 14th at the Hive, downtown Rapid City at 4:30 p.m. If you've thought about putting in a sports field and want to learn everything from installation to the best product for your field, this meeting's for you. RSVP to Christy at 605-831-9026. Learn all the ins and outs on sports fields from Forever Lawn Black Hills and the Rapid City Sports Commission. RSVP before May 14th to Christy at 831-9026.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Storms likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 47. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain showers tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 62. Cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies tomorrow night. Slight chance of rain showers 47. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 64.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're a part of the program. Thanks for making it possible every afternoon drive. The Nate Brown Show live. Question of the day, will there ever be another indoor football team in South Dakota? Sioux Falls had great success. Rapid City, a little up and down. Will there ever be another indoor football team in South Dakota? That's my question of the day. A lot of people answering that one on the text line. Let's grab a couple before we get to Scott Agnes, our next guest, covering the Fever and the Pacers. He's busy. Listener text. There won't be any more indoor football in South Dakota. Too much overhead when you rent an arena, pay a roster, travel, coaches, etc. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough money-making proposition. Listener text, there's no future of Arena Football League. There's a better chance of the Thrillers coming back in Rapid than an arena football team. Wow. Very interesting. Would the Thrillers make it today? Scott Agnes covering hoops. Let's go to him. Fieldhouse Files. Great coverage of the Caitlin Clark Fever season upcoming. And, of course, the Pacers in the thick of it, winning Game 1 yesterday against the Cavaliers. Scott, good to have you back on. How are you?
Appreciate it. Doing well. Just making my way back from Iowa City as we speak.
Okay, I wanted to get your read on this. What was the atmosphere like? Everybody expected that game yesterday to be just really exciting. Caitlin's homecoming to Iowa. What was it like in the arena?
It was a preseason game, but it was as if nobody told the crowd. I'm telling you, people were in their seats standing and ready to go 20 minutes before tip-off. They were treating it like it was a finals game, it felt like, in terms of production. And they brought the PA announcer and the in-game host from Indiana. And you had all kinds of signs and jerseys. I kid you not, 3 hours before the game, there were people tailgating for this at like 11 a.m. in Iowa City. So it was all that they could have hoped for and more. And best of all, in a preseason game, both teams left without any injury.
What did you think of it? Have you seen basketball in Iowa? Did you see Caitlin Clark in her Iowa run? What did you think of it, Scott?
No, not at all. It was my first time to Iowa City. I've been to many different Big Ten campuses, probably a half dozen, but not Iowa City just yet. And I thought the fans were spectacular. And if you're one of Caitlin's teammates, you had to appreciate that too, because you feel like this is a road environment, but they were all welcome and all appreciative. And that was something that Caitlin highlighted to us in our pregame comments to say, look, Iowa fans are going to embrace the heck out of you. And that's exactly what they did. So whenever teammates scored, whenever anything good happened for the Fever, you heard it in that building where it just erupted with noise. And it doesn't get much better as well than Caitlin not only knocking down her first shot, but her last coming 36 feet from beyond even her spot there out on the court. So it was spectacular, and I think Iowa City impressed. One of the biggest concerns going in that your listeners would know is there's no air conditioning in there, but fortunately it did not matter. It was mid-60s, and there was still plenty of Carver cones to go around for the fans.
Scott Agnes covering Caitlin Clark and the Fever this preseason game yesterday. I was watching it. It wasn't a great game, a 64-point win. Wild that the Fever beat the national team from Brazil. So Stephanie White's the new coach for the Fever, and people want to know what her style is going to be with Caitlin Clark. Like letting her shoot that yesterday. It was a preseason game, but is she going to let her do stuff like that?
Absolutely. She knows where Caitlin is best, right? And I thought she said it well post-game. She goes, look, does anybody tell Steph Curry not to take his long shots? No. If you're good at them, you take them. Now, if it's Aaliyah Boston, your center, doing it, of course not. So you got to understand what she can do. And there might be a time and place where it's like, hey, what are we doing here? We're up 11. We need to hold the ball. But reality is she has incredible basketball IQ. As good as her shooting is, her best trait is her passing. And what fans can expect is a defensive mentality from this team is that's going to be emphasized. Because all last year, it was not a good defensive team. 11th of 12. Stephanie White and her staff that came over with her from Connecticut, they ranked second 2 years ago and number one last year. And it won't get quite to those levels, but it will matter. And then offensively, very much like the Pacers, they want to move the ball. She doesn't want players hold it for more than a second. Read, make a quick reaction, and either attack the basket or keep the ball moving.
Scott Agnes joining us. Follow his work, Fieldhouse Files. He covers the Fever and the Pacers. I want to get to the Pacers here in a second. One more on this. What's year two like, the anticipation for this new-look team for the Fever? People say, well, better players around Caitlin Clark. How tough is a ticket for year two at Caitlin's games?
Well, this preseason game, they sold out in 42 minutes to season ticket holders. The get-in price in secondary markets were $600. Season tickets are sold out, and every team in the WNBA that does not play in an NBA arena, that's 6 of them, all of them move games to NBA arenas. So nothing has died down. And in fact, the demand and interest has only risen. 41 of 44 games will be on national TV. The Fever brought back a local radio, which you'll appreciate, a local radio broadcast that they hadn't done in probably about 10 years when everything went back then to kind of streaming only. So you could stream the game, so why would you want to listen? So they're traveling a radio crew. Interest is through the roof, and I can see just with online numbers, there's more interest made in this team than even the Pacers being in the postseason, because that's what Caitlin Clark does.
Isn't that wild? I was going to ask you that, Scott, because it's so interesting to me, and maybe you just chose, well, I'm going to go to Iowa City, and it's the Caitlin Clark homecoming. That's a big story. But the Pacers played game one yesterday. You cover the Pacers as well. How do you balance this? Meaning fans want both, but is Caitlin beating the Pacers?
It is, yeah. It's not even close, too, by the way. We just wrapped up week one of training camp, over 1 million views just on YouTube alone, and all kinds of new subscribers at Fieldhouse Files. So it's great for business. The truth is, I planned this trip and booked it months ago, right when it came out on January 30th. And you don't know how the Pacers are going to do. And then on top of that, the bonus is there's just far more interest. This is a national story. Look, I'm on your show because of Caitlin. You're not calling about the Pacers. You might talk Pacers. It completely changed the landscape. The fact that we haven't even touched on it, but the broadcast was the women's game aired on ESPN with ESPN's top women's crew. No, I think it goes LeBron, it's Steph, and then it's Caitlin. It's like the Fever are the 31st NBA team. It really is.
Well, I'll let you run with this. You've had a busy time. Scott Agnes on tonight. His company, Fieldhouse Files. That's the website. Find him on Twitter at Scott Agnes. So one on the Pacers here. By the way, they win game one, and I'm watching this going, Well, they got Halliburton solid, Siakam solid, coach is good. Can the Pacers make a run here against the Cavaliers?
Yeah, I said before this series they absolutely could, and now you even feel better about it given the current health status of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have 3 key players that are on there listed, not as probable, but questionable for Game 2. So that's big red flags for them who are desperate now because you do not want to lose both games, having home court, being the best team in the Eastern Conference, and that home record. And by the way, just a couple hours ago, their head coach, Kenny Atkinson, named Coach of the Year. But we all know you need a little luck. You need things to break your way. And right now, Pacers are playing as well as they have. They have full health. Whereas Cavaliers, I hope we get to see them at full strength in this series. But right now, it's seemingly breaking the Pacers' way coming up before tomorrow's night's Game 2.
So Halliburton's dad's not coming to any of the games. How do you think that played out?
Yeah, I think that's probably appropriate here. I don't think he had any bad intentions. The reality is, I don't care if you're a dad or a fan, you can't go on the court. I don't think he sought out Giannis. Giannis was just kind of there because Tyrese had just beaten him for a layup. And look, his season's over. Maybe his time in Milwaukee. There's a lot of things to process. So he was slow in making his way down the court. To me, John Halliburton just kind of walked out there. He's row 1. He had that the towel of his son, which he's had for several years. That's not new. And I think he was just lost in the moment. Because remember, this is their home state team. They're from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And when the games were in Milwaukee, his son was booed. Worse than that, they called him overrated. And so I think that the heaviness of that certainly weighed on him. And Tyrese has been going through a lot mentally, I think, this season as well. And so we don't know all those extenuating factors, but the reality is you can't allow for that, and there's got to be some consequence. I just thought it was silly when some were like, he can't be allowed ever again at an NBA arena, things like that. He didn't attack anyone. He just walked out there and got a little caught in the moment there. He doesn't drink. He doesn't swear. So I can wave off those notions that some people have defaulted to as well.
Scott Agnes, great coverage. Fieldhouse Files covered the Caitlin Clark homecoming at Iowa yesterday. Find him on Twitter at Scott Agnes and Fieldhouse Files. Scott, thanks for hopping on. Really appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot. Scott Agnes on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Fieldhouse Files covers the Fever. Great follow if you're following Caitlin Clark. Find him at Fieldhouse Files and at Scott Agnes. Can you believe that? He just said it right there. Caitlin Clark, the preseason outdrawing the Pacers in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So I've said it. We even have a Caitlin Clark banner here in the studio. It's in the shot a little bit. We're going to have to move this. This is Caitlin Clark's season now. We're going to have to move this behind us in prime spot. We don't have any other. What else do we have for banners here in the studio? Anything else? As far as NBA goes, we don't even have a Michael Jordan banner in here. Oh, there it is. Yes, I brought that one. I've had that since I was a kid. 6-time NBA champion. But we got Caitlin Clark in here. It just goes to show you. He said, Caitlin Clark outdrawing the numbers. He said they got 1 million views, Fieldhouse Files, with the Caitlin Clark preseason stuff. And it's outpacing the Pacers in the NBA playoffs. It's quite something. What a story. The homecoming in Iowa yesterday was massive. Massive crowd, big ticket price, and they beat the national team of Brazil by 64. Youch. Let's go to Kelvin Torvey up next. Baseball season's here, post-22. Can this storied program get back on top? Post-22 head coach Kelvin Torvey on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Isn't it time for new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen? With mortgage interest rates where they are right now, so many people are renovating their own homes rather than moving. And there's never been a better time to invest in awesome new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen's legendary windows have been the best you can get for decades, but many people don't know that Renewal by Andersen also has incredible new ensemble entry doors and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows, which are winning rave reviews from clients. Renewal by Andersen's windows, ensemble entry doors, and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows will make your home so much more energy efficient on cold winter nights or hot summer days. Those new windows and doors will make your home so much more quiet and secure. We hear that all the time. Please visit RBARapidCity.com to schedule a free consultation. Be sure to ask about our great offers and really attractive financing options right now. Renewal by Andersen Windows and Entry Doors. Isn't it time?
All right, we're talking with Britt Wicked at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Right now, it's baseball season, and one thing I know with baseball, I hear about this overuse shoulder injury.
It's something that we see a lot clinically. Repetitive motions place ourselves at an increased risk for sustaining an injury, especially if it's a movement that hasn't necessarily been done a lot previously.
And one thing, some people say, well, you just have to rest, but not all the time.
Yeah, so it's good to take a break in a sense. But that doesn't necessarily mean do nothing at all. If you're experiencing symptoms like that and having soreness with throwing in particular, that's a good time to be seen by a physical therapist to try to assess the root cause of your symptoms. You could have weakness in the rotator cuff. We could have some shoulder instability. There's a lot going on with throwing, so it's important to have that thoroughly assessed to get you back on the road to recovery.
Get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back in. This is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You found us on Fox Sports Radio. Remember, you can watch the show live every afternoon on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. So you got to have a Twitter account. Follow us on there at Nate Brown Show. You can watch us live on your phone. Other place you can get us for free, it's easy, on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel. You've got The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. You can watch us there, live and archive shows. Parker Fox joined us earlier tonight. Great player at Northern State. Went on to Minnesota and now covers the Timberwolves for KFan out of the Twin Cities. Just had Scott Agnes on talking Caitlin Clark and the Fever. The homecoming there in Iowa yesterday and a massive crowd. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. All the guests on every show posted on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Hey, it's baseball season. We know that. The local baseball season getting going and the storied program. Post 22 back at it, unbeaten as they get set for a Rapid City game tomorrow against Post 320. Head coach back for the Hard Hats, Kelvin Torvey on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Coach, good to talk to you again. How are you?
Doing wonderful, Nate. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing good, man. It is baseball time, early in the season. And I want to get your read on what you look for, Coach. You've been around the game forever. What do you look for early right now? You guys are not beaten. Do you feel good? What are you seeing?
You want to compete. And I think we got a team that does that. At least the early indications are that. It's not perfect. We walk too many guys, make some errors and things. But it's early. But what we look for is work ethic, coachability, being competitive. And so far, through 6 games, and granted it's anecdotal, but through 6 games, we've checked all the boxes. So we've got a long way to go yet, but we're pleased so far.
Okay, you also have to look, what's this roster like? How experienced are you? How do you feel from that standpoint?
A lot of new guys. We lost 11 guys from last year, and so we got a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces. Of course, our Expos last year won the state tournament. They went to the final day of the Gophers, so they had a lot of good players there. But we're trying to, we're plugging in a lot of new guys, and so so far it works. And we're not very deep. We got a lot of POs, and so a lot of guys are going to get at bats, and if they're struggling, they're going to have time to try to get right.
Kelvin Torvion, Post 22 head baseball coach. I look at across South Dakota. Over the years, do you think South Dakota Legion baseball has gotten more competitive? You guys have won your state titles, but the rest of the state has had some now. What do you think that is a reasoning for?
I don't know about, it is more competitive. Yeah, it's not like Post 22 wins it every year. Last time we won it was 2022, so it is more competitive. The baseball universe in Rapid City and in Sioux Falls is more fractured than it used to be. There are more options to play, which is good, but it's not like we can collect an embarrassment of riches, and Sioux Falls can't collect an embarrassment of riches. There's a lot of options, and so when you do that, there's a leveling effect, and it does become more competitive, a lot more even playing field.
Coach, here's the reality of the world. I see it in other sports, and so I'm going to look in baseball, saying, okay, there's a lot of teams that go to. I'm going to go to a showcase. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to that. You tell me the difference between I'm running a Post 22 program. We're going to travel to big tournaments, Gopher Classic, Creighton Classic, but it's not necessarily showcase teams. You tell me the difference between Legion, Post 22 baseball, and that.
Well, one thing, we don't charge our players to play. It's all fundraised and ticket sales and things like that, so we don't charge our players to play. And a lot of these showcase events it's quite mercenary, where, you get guys coming in, they play one tournament, and then the team goes somewhere else, and you get 4 or 5 more guys. Post 22, we play for something. We play for state titles every year, and we live on a bus all summer, and we live in hotels all summer. And so our guys know they learn how to be a teammate, because, we don't travel with parents. We don't stay with parents. We travel as a team. We eat as a team. We stay in hotels as a team, and we win and lose as a team. And so that's one thing that when I talk to college coaches at Post 22, gives them a player that is a teammate, knows how to be a teammate, and he also knows the game, because we bunt, we hit and run, we, double cuts, we do the whole thing. And a lot of these tournaments, it's just the pitchers, how hard can they throw, the hitters, how far they can hit it, and there's really not much baseball being played. And so I know that's a broad generalization, but a lot of these tournaments are because we played in, we'd go down to the Arizona Fall Classic in the fall and with our fall program, and you play the perfect game, quote, national team, or the, Baseball Factory national team. And yeah, they got talent, but if you play a little bit of baseball, you do pretty well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted your thoughts on that. Do you think there's parents that still think, well, what should I do? Should I play Legion baseball, or should I try and get on this travel team?
Oh yeah, there's options out there. Parents, they always want an option, and travel baseball. And we're about 25 years behind in Rapid City for travel baseball. We have it now. It's been in town 4 or 5 years, I think. And so, when I was before I moved here, I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and back in the late 90s and early 2000s, travel baseball was everything. And so now it's in Rapid City, and yeah, parents do have an option. Obviously I'm a little prejudiced. I think we're the best option because we don't cost anything. We have the best coaching staff, and we play 65, 70 games in front of 1,000 people or more a night. So we do have a pretty good product. I think we've shown that over the years. But our mission statement is forging strong young men to the game of baseball, and we take that serious. We do that. That's the ultimate goal. Along the way, we play some pretty good baseball.
Let's talk about the hard hats here. You said a lot of new guys, so you're going to learn along the way here, but you like how competitive you are. You're undefeated right now. What do you think the strength is as we get set to watch Post 22?
I just think we have a bunch of competitive guys. It's not the most talented team I've had, but early indications are these guys will run through a wall to win a game. And so I know we're going to have games where we don't do that, but just looking at the makeup of our guys and talking to Jace Caldwell, who was the Expos coach last year, talking about his guys who I have this year, we've got guys that compete. And believe me, it's a lot more fun to coach a team that may not be talented, but they compete their butts off, as opposed to having just an embarrassment of riches, and they really don't compete. They just want to, show up for the scouts. So, it's been fun so far this year. Long way to go, but, stay tuned. We'll see how it goes.
Post-22 baseball just getting started, of course, with Kelvin Torves, the head coach for the Hard Hats. Tomorrow night, it's the first Rapid City rivalry game. It's the post-320, post-22 game. What do you see over there? They have a new head coach, Mike Jansen.
Oh, yeah, I'm good friends with Mike, and he's going to do a fantastic job over there. And they got an older team as well. They've got a bunch of guys that have been around, so it's going to be a tough out. We've had some success against them of late. That guarantees nothing for tomorrow. And so I look for a good game. I expect our guys to compete, and if we throw strikes and play defense and compete, we'll be okay.
Rapid City's baseball game brings out the fans. It's tomorrow night. Hard Hats taking a trip across the parking lot to play post-320. Kelvin Torves' crew 6-0 to start the year. Post-22 off and running. Coach, good to have you on. Thanks for the time.
Nick, thanks so much. You have a good evening.
Appreciate it. Kelvin Torves tonight on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. That's the Post-22 head coach. Let's watch for the Hard Hats this year. Of course, coverage all summer long on Fox Sports Radio. Hard Hats 6-0, and they play post-320 as Mike Jansen takes over. I know Mike, great baseball guy, South Dakota State guy. He's at post-320 now. That game's tomorrow night. Coming right back with who's hot and who's not. A big honor in South Dakota high school basketball. We'll start there next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in South Dakota. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Storms likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 47. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain showers tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 62. Cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies tomorrow night. Slight chance of rain showers 47. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 64.
Round 1 of the Rapid City rivalry takes place Tuesday on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Post-22 Hard Hats travel across the parking lot to battle the Post-320 Stars in Legion baseball action at Pete Lean Memorial Field. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show at 6:45, followed by the first pitch at 7. The Hard Hats battle the Stars Tuesday night, right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer Bank and Trust. local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, good stuff tonight on a Monday, getting your week started. Thanks for spending time with us. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We try and cover everything from high school to college to the pros, and great guests tonight. From East River to West River, we got you covered tonight. Matt Zimmer joined us, Sioux Falls Live. Parker Fox was on. Great player at Northern. Man, he was a great player. Then he transferred that last year to Minnesota. Now he covers the Wolves. He's on K-Fan. Parker Fox talking hoops tonight. Scott Agnes on the Caitlin Clark phenomenon in Iowa yesterday. And Kelvin Torvey, post-22 baseball, is back. And they win a South Dakota state title. Last state title, 2022. 2022. Hit the Nate Brown Show podcast for all of those guests and more tonight. Busy show tonight. Every night at this time, it's Who's Hot and Who's Not. We wrap up the show with Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. A reminder, Pizza Ranch with locations in Sioux Falls, 3809 East 10th Street, where you want to stop by tonight in Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon, stop by the Pizza Ranch, and 2 locations in Rapid City. It's home of everyone's favorite buffet by far, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, the best buffet in town. In my Who's Hot category, big honors sent out over the weekend. Not a surprise, South Dakota Mr. Basketball, Sioux Falls Christian's Griffin Goodberry. Griffin Goodberry, great player. Now going to go to Drake and follow Eric Henderson. So congrats to Griffin Goodberry, Mr. Basketball. And on the girls' side, Talia Porter, the all-time leading scorer in Stevens basketball history. Talia Porter, Rapid City Stevens, Miss Basketball, South Dakota. Big honors. That's always great to see. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, we'll stay in hoops. I got something funny for you. You ready? This is a funny one, okay? So you got the Nuggets. They're playing tonight. I'm pulling for the Nuggets. I'd love to see Nuggets Wolves. I think that'd be great, but Nuggets are playing tonight. They just beat the Clippers, knocked the Clippers out. We've been waiting for the Clippers to do something. You know, it's like that meme with that stick. It's just poking. Do something. And the LA Clippers, is there a worse organization? Here's what they said about, they reevaluate where they're at. What do we need to do to get better? We get here and then we get knocked out. What do we need to do? Here's what the president of basketball operations said today about the Clippers moving forward. They are going to keep as their foundation James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Lawrence Frank, the president of basketball operations, just said today, I definitely believe in those two. And so what I'm telling you is, if you watch any basketball at all, James Harden can make a lot of threes. Might drive a time or two. He might get you 30 a couple of times. He plays zero defense, and you just aren't going to win the big-time clutch games. So James Harden, to me, I can't have it. That's not a good expenditure of money. And then Kawhi Leonard, he didn't start playing until January. This is the Kawhi Leonard thing. Is like, I'll do a half of a season. Well, we're paying you a full salary. Well, I got my knee. I got my this. So the Clippers are going to stick with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, the franchise's foundation. And that's why they are where they're at, by the way. The Wolves got a shot tomorrow night against the Golden State Warriors. That's going to be a great series. Wolves and Warriors. Parker Fox said tonight, he covers the Wolves, he said Wolves in 5. That's interesting. Is that big of a mismatch? And, of course, the Nuggets getting ready to go tonight. Nuggets tonight. OKC. That's a tough series. Fun basketball. Thanks for listening to the show tonight. That's it. The Nate Brown Show in the books. We are back live tomorrow afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
I was the cool dad. My kids wanted me to take them to the mall. I didn't think any